So
Right.
we're going to talk about our animals today. And Diane, you have an
Um,
animal?
I have an animal. Yes, I do. I have right now, I've had many animals throughout my life, probably not as many as many of you watching this, but cats and dogs, mostly gerbils, hamsters, birds along the way. But right now, I have a 27-pound, she was weighed yesterday because she had surgery yesterday, terrier mix, like a Jack Russell Terrier mix. And her name is Minnie. And I have my grand cat staying at my house for another few days, and her name is Susie. And they're both black and white, and they are just so fun to watch together. Their interactions, the dynamics, it's magical, really.
Yeah, they and I think that's perfect because I do think that these um and there's and I think they are magical. I know
Yeah.
they're magical. I know they're magical. And sometimes a lot of people say we don't deserve them, right? We don't deserve these animals
Oh my
sometimes
gosh.
because they're just like pure love. Like they don't know any other way. And even animals that I did not experience love. They have to be pushed to a certain extent to show us that they need to feel love in order to return the love. I'm just thinking about some terrible situations that some animals have to go through.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was just listening to you say that, like, and I was thinking, like, pets, right? So these are pets. These are animals that we live with and we bring into our daily lives. And then there's other animals, right? There's animals in the woodlands and there's the birds that come to our windows. Um, and then there's a whole nother layer with spirit animals, but we're gonna have another conversation about that.
We
Um,
will.
so
Which
and I had
I feel like Minnie is a spirit animal for sure.
yeah. And I my last was Nora, and she was a black lab. We rescued her, and she came in as I almost want to say the matriarch of the family. Like she knew her job, she knew who she was supposed to be with and spend time with, but she was my heart dog, and I miss her greatly. And we lost her during COVID, and that was difficult. And I have not had another dog to me come to me in 3D. I'll say that.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
and we wanted to open this whole conversation about talking about having animals and having them um, this is a spiritual conversation, right? Not just having a pet and going for the walk, but I know a lot of times that when I reach out and we talk, you're like, oh, I'm out walking, you're in the woods, and so Minnie is getting you out on your walks. And that's a lot, our animals do that for us. They get us outside. They don't want to go outside and sit in the backyard alone. They want you out there
No.
with them. Walk me, be with me, take me out. They want to be in
Let's
the
go play, get away
they
from
want
your
to be in the car.
computer.
We're going for a car
Like,
ride.
get
Like,
off your phone. Let's go have fun. The tongue hanging out, big
right.
smile. Yeah.
Like this is what we do. This is the way it should be. And I had different stages of my lives. I had a lot of golden retriever with me, and I'm so blessed for anyone who has had goldens. And grown up, we had a dog growing up, and I was fortunate that she was with me. My sisters are older, so she was with me through all my formative years. And I have found that as I have grown and matured and stepped more into my being, that the animals change that come to you. And we get to this point in our life when you were just saying, in my same experience, that my Nora was magical, and Minnie, I'm sure, is exuding her energy and love. And um,
Yeah.
yeah, let me hand it over to you.
Absolutely. And I'm just thinking with my grand cat who's visiting, I had a astrology reading not too long ago, and in it, the astrologer told me, she said, you have animals that have passed. Don't need those on my head. You have animals that have passed who want to come back into your life, either as the same, animal or as a different animal, but their souls are waiting for you to bring them back in. How do you
I
feel?
want
I
to
know,
cry.
that's what I said. Oh, you're pulling at my heartstrings. And I said,
Yeah.
but then I said, it's funny you say that because my daughters and I have always said, my younger daughter's cat, we've always kind of said, like, she's like three cats that we've had in the past all in one. So I feel
Right.
like, well, maybe she was picking up on Susie, who lovingly was sleeping by my head this morning, and I just felt her energy. I felt the energy of 3 cats that I've had in my life, like right there with her, in her. And maybe there are more out there that do want to come in. And am I open to having a pet? I'm feeling like I'm supposed to be traveling more, so it's not
I
really conducive.
and I will jump in and I will share that when we lost Nora, so we lost her at the beginning of COVID, May of COVID, whatever year that was. I don't even like to think back how long it's been.
2020, four
Because
years.
when she left, it was a big hole. It was a hole in the family. I'm getting
Imagine.
emotional. It was a hole in the family. It was a hole in my life personally. But yeah, they have a big impact on us. And it was during COVID, and the vet didn't even want to let us in. And
Mm,
I was not having it. So that's I might talk about that a little bit later.
yeah.
But we had I reached a point where my girls were at college and the house was quiet and I didn't have to get up at 5 in the morning for the first time in 25 years. And I made a choice not to bring another one in, but
Mm.
I'm 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 blessed with squirrels. I have squirrels.
I got a
I'm
lot of
blessed.
those too. Birds,
Um,
wild birds.
birds, lots of wild birds. Yep. And you know, that they sustain me also, even though they're not pets, right? They're living free. But that connection, I can't take a walk in the woods and not stop and
Mm-hmm.
hear, like, oh, they're talking to me. I don't know what they mean. I don't know what they're saying, but
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. Um,
It's such a higher
yeah.
frequency, vibrational frequency, when we can stop and connect with animals, whether or not there are pets or animals out in the wild.
I
Yeah.
know that I was just thinking about a conversation my daughter and I were having, and she's obsessed with these little dachshunds. And I don't think they're the easiest animals to have, but she's obsessed. We send pictures back and forth, Instagram, and because that's why I'm on social media. I always say that's why I'm on TikTok for the cats and the dogs, like
Right?
because I
Yeah.
feel like I get to feel that
Oh my
joy and that
God.
experience of
Yeah.
these animals, that people are so blessed to have. And
And
it's
it,
and yeah, they just exude joy. And when was the last time you walked up to a dog on a path and they didn't come over and lean into you and you're like, oh my gosh. I just said to my daughter the other day, I said, um, we need to go somewhere where I can be with a dog. Like, where are we going? Are we going to go sit at the dog park like crazy people and just
Mhm.
wait for dogs to come over to us? Because I'm feeling that. I'm feeling like there's a need to connect with an animal. There's a need to be out in nature, right? The dog parks are outside. Like, it's all designed to bring us back outside and connecting with all of the natural
Feel that.
world. And
Yeah,
again, they know what they're doing.
they do. I was walking Minnie the other morning, was passing my neighbor's house, and I just felt like somebody was looking at me. And I looked up, and in my neighbor's front yard was this coyote,
Mm.
just majestic looking right at
They
me. His
do that too. They
eyes
stop and they just
stopped
like
and just
they
staring,
look
and
at
his
you.
fur, the sunlight was hitting the coloring in his fur, and it took my breath away. I mean, not in fear at all, but it was,
Right.
I just felt this connection with him. And I'll say that with pets too, because I've always rescued animals, and they I've never set out to get a certain one, right? You go and you actually, when I went to get Minnie, I kind of had my mind set on one I had seen online. That dog wanted nothing to do with us. It wouldn't even come near us. And then Minnie just bounded out of her pen. She wasn't even supposed to be shown because she was in quarantine. Um, but you just knew that, like, and it's the same with cats that I've adopted before. It's like you have this connection. You feel it when you look into their eyes, and maybe it's a paw going out, or I don't know. Just
Yeah.
you just know when you're meant to be with each other.
Yes. I was also thinking about how there was a time in my home part of my journey and my path, and learning to manage energy in my home. And there was this one particular, my Nora would never come into the basement. She just didn't want to manage the stairs. She never came down the stairs. And one day I was downstairs doing laundry and she came down the basement stairs, the cellar. If you're from New England, I'm in the cellar. And
I don't miss my
and I'm
cellar.
like, what do you like, I can't believe you're down here. What's going on? And she was like jumping like up and down. Like, and I remember just intuitively saying to her, like, who's here? Like, I
Mm,
remember that, like, who's here? And like, she got my attention and we went back up the stairs and she took me up to the upstairs, not the main floor, but up to the bedrooms. And I was like, what is going on? Like, what is she? And I wasn't sensing anything. I wasn't seeing anything and everything felt fine. But I was like, that was amazing. Like something
she knew.
within her, she needed to communicate to me.
Mm,
And not soon after, I can remember being in one of the rooms upstairs, and I had seen a blue orb in the room. Beautiful. And I found her the next day sitting in the room, staring right at where that blue orb was.
mm,
And I remember just sitting down next to her and like looking where she was looking, like, and saying things to her, like, I know it's okay. Everything's beautiful. Everything's, because it was nothing negative. It was beautiful.
yeah.
And just having that moment with her, I'm like, what are we doing? Me and my little spiritual dog, like, what are we doing? And I do also remember a lot that I had an opportunity when my kids were in high school, and this was part of my awakening time where I was going into deep meditation, and I would utilize that time after lunch to kind of go into my room and like I need to like go into deep meditation, put the headphones in and go. And she would demand to come in and she wanted to be right on the bed next to me. There were times I couldn't, she would like kind of fall asleep and her body would trigger and it would pull me out. I'm like, girl, we can't do this together. But I had a beautiful, someone share with me that, no, she's guarding you while you are
Mm,
meditating, when you're out of your body. And she is taking care. And I was just like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. But they want to be in it. They like,
oh, I have a very hard time with my meditation practice having my dog.
yeah, they
So my
want to be there.
meditation practice looks a lot different now than it did
Right.
before I had a dog, but it's all good.
And
Yeah.
I also just wanted to share quickly,
Yeah.
and I've actually made a video on this on my business page, but when I first started doing Reiki, I had reached out to my vet and just said, if you're interested in having somebody, I'd like to come in, maybe like sit with your post-surgicals and just, do whatever I can do to help their transition, waking up and things like that. And that is not like, she was like, took my card. She was like, oh, that would be amazing. That would be, well, that is not what happened at all. Like she ended up calling me and telling me, you're going to go to this person's house and they're having a problem with their dog. And I think this is what's going on. And I would go to the house and then I started communicating with the animals before I would go. This is not where this conversation was supposed to go. Um, and that was my first Reiki practice. It
I
was
love
was
that.
sitting with animals, and I would sit with like 18-year-old cats who were in their last day, and I would be called, and it was like I would I would check in with the cat, and I would just feel like my heart slowing down, like I'm like, she's
Mm,
showing me that she's ready. Her heart is
mm,
slowing down to like my physical body is echoing what she's doing.
mm.
And I did that for like a year. Like I would go to strangers' houses with crystals in I would put pink mangano in front of cats and they would come over and just sit down on top of it. And like, what am I doing? But like beautiful teachers. That's what they were. They were
Yeah.
teachers for me, and how to be in my alignment and how to connect more with my intuition and step out and use my
Mm.
voice more. Yeah, I sometimes I forget I did that. Just like, I can't believe I used to do that. I ever see these people on the street. And there was a particular family that called me back right before their sweet little mini poodle was ready to go. And I sat with elderly couple and had they were just sitting in their chairs. I was on the floor and doing a beautiful blessing for Archangel Michael to come and make this transition as quick as possible. And having to lean into, I can do that. I can help people.
Yeah.
And these animals just showed up to serve beautifully for us. And how
Oh,
beautiful is that?
that is, I love that story. You've shared that with me before, and it just, um, for any of you listening or watching this who are feeling called to working with energy, working with the energy of animals, and maybe you're already doing it, or um, if you're not working with animals and working with people in energy, try it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful invitation to take your practice not only to connect, feel deeper connections within yourself, heightening your clairsenses, but also, um, it's almost indescribable, right? For me, it's like it's hard to describe a connection with an animal, what that feels like, and it's hard for me to not understand how some people can't be connected with animals, and there's a lot of people out there who just don't like animals.
Yeah.
But they speak to your soul, and they speak through their eyes in such beautiful ways that are it's like they know exactly what we need in the moment without words. They're just there, and they pick up on our energy, and are the best nursemaids, caretakers,
Yeah. Master healers.
master
Right.
healers.
Master healers. Yeah,
Absolutely.
beautiful. And if I encourage anybody, if you don't have an animal and one shows up in your life, to
Mhm.
trust that that animal is there for you. They've
Yes.
come for you. And it may
Yes.
be like, may not be a straight path, how they come to you, and trust the story. And if you've had that and you're experiencing it, you're like, yes, that happened.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
Yes,
Like,
I'd
I
love to
have a
hear
heart
stories.
animal.
Yes.
I know I've been with my animal before. My animal teaches me.
Mhm.
I'll just share quickly, just a little bit of a close. When Nora left, I struggled to let go of her. And she was sleeping in my room at the end. And she was talking to me in my dream space. And she was showing me when it was time. And I was getting, not time yet, not time yet. Like, she had more work to do in connecting with the family. And then one night I was shown that she was ready to go. And it was the most precious gift I ever received. And I feel like I still get so emotional thinking about her. And I think that having that experience um, elevated me personally to just know that as long as there's love and you love the animals and they love us back and you're open, they're here for us, and just to trust. And
Mhm.
they can be a pain in the butt.
They can.
They like to be fed at 5 o'clock, and then the time change comes and they want to be let out early, and
Oh,
it's
that's this
okay.
weekend. The time
It
change.
is, it is. So love them, love the birds outside. If you're not allowed to put bird feeders out, put walnuts out, like just the little things you can do. They will come, they will connect with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful share. And precious Nora is in my heart. And
Mm. And I do think I have a new dog
um,
in my future.
you do.
I'm shown.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So yes, please share with us about your animal experiences, and we'll have more conversations about spirit animals, and lots more to share.
Yeah. I think there's a lot more we can talk about on this.
For sure, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Thanks, Diane.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, everybody, and we'll see you next time.